2025 Plan Commission meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right. Time for roll call. Lori, please take the roll.
Okay. Commissioner Gaskell? Commissioner Gatto? Commissioner Hamilton? Commissioner Manny? Commissioner Merrick? Commissioner Montalvo? Commissioner Sepisi? Chairman Gray? Acting?
Present. All right, so I did want to start off with a couple of notes. First of all, just due to the renovation and construction work currently in progress at the Village Hall, tonight's Plan Commission meeting will be held here. Glad you all can make it. There is some audio and visual limitation due to this location setup, so I've got two mics here, one for myself, and then we'll pass this mic around whenever we get to public comment or the commissioner's comments. But I will let you guys know that we are only requesting that you speak if you have the microphone. Also did want to note that on the screen, the PowerPoint presentations are displayed on the TVs to your left. Is this not on? Okay. Okay. And then also just wanted to let you guys know that we are putting a time limit on speaking to 6 minutes, just in case there are a lot of public comments tonight. So just wanted to make you guys aware of that before we get started. Next on the agenda is communications. Staff, are there any communications?
Well, just that our acting chair will be Martinez tonight in Chairman Gray's absence, and staff is requesting to continue item number 3 on the agenda.
Okay.
For Brookside Creek Retail Center substantial deviation.
All right. Can I get a motion from one of my commissioners here to continue item number 3 to an unknown date? All right, I heard a first by Commissioner Sepisi and a second by Commissioner Gaskell. All those in favor say aye.
I believe we will do a roll call
Okay.
for this, as we were advised
Okay.
previously. Commissioner Gaskell?
Yes.
Commissioner Hamilton? Commissioner Manny? Commissioner Merrick? Commissioner Sepisi? Acting Chair Martinez?
Yes. Okay. I think I need to be a little louder on this mic, so if anybody cannot hear me, please let me know. All right, so all right, so item number 1 on the agenda is a public hearing to consider recommending that the village board grant Laura Altenbaumer of Active Day IN, Inc., a special use for a substantial deviation from the Park Center Plaza PUD to allow for the establishment of an adult daycare facility at 16050 Harlem Avenue in the B3 PD General Business and Commercial Park Center Plaza PUD zoning district. May I have a motion to open the public hearing? All right, I heard a motion by Commissioner Gaskell and a second by Commissioner Manny. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? All right, the motion is carried. And before we proceed, I would like to note that I have received the certification of the public hearing notice as being published in the local newspaper as required by state law. Anyone wishing to speak on this matter will be sworn in at the podium, but that will come after staff's presentation. Staff, could you please proceed with the presentation?
All right. This is a special use to establish a active day adult daycare. The location is 16050 Harlem Avenue. This is the former American Freight Space. 2 meetings ago, we had the Canine Resort kennel special use approved in the other half of this American Freight Space. So this will be right next door. Property is Zone B3 PD, General Business Commercial, Park Center Plaza PUD. This space has been vacant for several months, so we're happy that we have new users coming in to reactivate the space. And then of note nearby, everything is all within the same PUD, all the same type of development, with the exception of St. Julie's Church, which is immediately to the west. So the request is only to establish the the adult daycare. So this is a special use, and it's a special use in the B3 zoning district as is, but then since this is in a PUD, we also need to do a substantial deviation to establish the use. So the zoning ordinance allowability use chart just lists daycare as the overarching use for an adult daycare, which the zoning ordinance also defines. I think it's relatively straightforward what that means, but Active Day is proposing to provide services to both adults with disabilities and the elderly as well. The zoning ordinance doesn't have any specific performance standards listed, and again, this is a substantial deviation just because it's within the PUD. So the Active Day proposal will have a maximum capacity of 130 members, participants, clients. They call them members in their materials. It's, like I said, for seniors and adults with disabilities. They plan to have up to 20 staff, and there are 6 buses operated by Active Day. Those buses are used to pick up members from their homes, bring them to the site, and then bring them home at the end of the day. A lot of customers also rely on other transportation services to get to the site. The narrative provided by the petitioner mentioned specifically programs run by the VA, PACE paratransit buses, and then some folks do get picked up and dropped off by family or friends. And they're proposing no exterior site changes, so there'll be no changes to the exterior of the building whatsoever. The parking lot configuration will remain the same. The folks that do arrive by getting a ride from someone they know, they will just be directed to use the regular parking lot spaces and then enter the facility. The bus will drop folks off, and then it will leave the parking lot, which is like the public-facing area, and it will go to the rear of the site for storage. So here's the floor plan. Most of the floor plan is taken up by 2 activity rooms. Those are the large squares in the middle. There's 2 separate spaces for different programming. They have offices. They have 2 sets of restrooms and a full bathroom in the event that someone needs to shower while they're there. Other than that, there's nothing really to note from a planning and zoning perspective. I'm sure the petitioner will explain a little bit about their programming needs. And then I have the standards. This is a very straightforward minor request, so there it is.
Okay, thank you, staff. Is the petitioner present? Can you approach the podium? And since you're already signed in, I'll just swear you in when you get there. Yeah. All right, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm that the evidence that you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay. Do you have anything to add to staff's presentation?
No, I think he was pretty accurate in all of the information. You know, we serve probably currently right now, we have 113 clients in our Homewood location. We've been in the Homewood location for going on 15 plus years. So really looking at Tinley Park as an expansion of serving seniors with, that are suffering from either Alzheimer's or dementia, as well as individuals with developmental disabilities that may need somewhere to go for during the day. So looking to really expand into an area we've not been able to get into because of the distance. So that's why we've kind of looked at Tinley Park and this location, and I think, unless you want me to get into a little bit more specifics, is there any additional questions that you all have?
We're about to get into the
Oh,
comments and questions.
absolutely. Okay.
So you could just stay put for a second.
Gotcha.
I am gonna start to my left for Commissioner Hamilton.
Thank you. Just one question. One of the points seemed to indicate that there was 130, you have a capacity of 130.
Correct.
I'm not sure how 130 people could fit inside that building.
The regulations under the Illinois Department on Aging is that per square footage, they do 100 square foot per member. So if we have 14,000 square feet, technically it'd be about 140. But we look at functional capacity versus actual capacity.
Right.
So depending on a person's ability, so if we have somebody that really utilizes a lot of adaptive equipment, of course they're going to need more space. So that's why we put 130 versus the regulation of being approved would be actually 140 with that square footage.
Okay, so you could accommodate 140 people?
With 14,000 square feet, yes.
Yeah, and what are they doing during the day? How are they, I mean, they're obviously not playing soccer or...
No. So depending upon, so we really try to encourage socialization and active movement, right?
Okay.
So when they come to our center, a day in the life of an adult day is when they come in the morning, we provide them a AM, like a breakfast, continental breakfast is what we usually call it, catered in meal for lunch, and then an afternoon snack. So after they come in, we socialize, we do some exercising. It's chair yoga. We're not going to do anything crazy because, again, we're looking at people with some disabilities and some functional limitations. And then we do a variety of activities. It could be chair yoga. It could be a craft activity. It could be somebody coming in and talking to somebody about health matters, keeping people healthy, healthy aging. And then we do lunch. So the most probably extent that we do that's an active movement is our exercising in the morning and in the afternoon. But again, it's just really stretching our legs, getting movement, so we're just not sitting in a chair all day long.
So there really isn't a lot of space that each person needs. I mean, it's 100 by 100.
Yeah, I mean, 100 square
10
foot.
by 10
Yeah,
foot.
yeah. So it's not like it's a school or a child daycare. So it is
Right.
really, our average age at our center is probably around 72, 73.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Steph, is the building code also mention capacity in that level for a use like this? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Okay. Right. Okay. Hope that kind of helps that. And then Commissioner Sepulveda, anything to add?
Just an add-on Just an add-on question. Are all 130 people there every day?
So, no. So we always say, when somebody comes to us or comes to one of our services, not everybody wants to come 5 days a week. So we have an enrollment of 113 people enrolled in our program, but only an average of 62 come a day. So when we say 130, that would mean we would probably need about 200 and some people enrolled. So capacity-wise, it could be a variety, like the 62 people, they're probably different. They're not the same people every day. Did I? Yep.
Timeout space?
Timeout space.
They don't go on a timeout if they get tired, they need to lay down? Or
Oh, we do. So the Department on Aging, sorry, I didn't understand your question initially. Department of Aging does require what's called a quiet room. So there is a designated area that'll be close to our nursing station, so we are also required to have nursing services on site. And so if somebody is tired, not feeling well, needs to go home, they'll be taken to the quiet room where our nursing can oversee them, make sure everything's okay. And then if we need any kind of medical attention, we would either call 911 or we would ask the family to come and pick them up and take them home. Because we are just, we don't do any skilled nursing on site, so we would address the symptoms and then call for additional services should it be needed. You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right, Commissioner Gaskell?
I have no questions.
All right, I'm gonna pass this to my right. Commissioner Manny?
No comment.
Commissioner Merrick?
Same here.
I just, oh, I'm double micing. I just had a couple of questions for
Sure.
you. Just interested, or if you can explain the drop-off system?
Sure. So we have an array of people that live all around the area, and they are assigned or allowed to come certain times of the day or certain hours per day. So we have it set wherever all of our buses are coming in at different times. So our buses leave anywhere between 6 o'clock in the morning, and then their drop-off begins probably anywhere from 7:30 to 8. So a bus pulls up, our staff come out to meet the bus and the driver, we escort the members into the center, the bus drives away. There could be another one that's pulling up momentarily behind that one. Once all the buses come in, they get parked, they're parked throughout the day, and the same process happens on the evening. So when it's time to leave, the bus pulls up, the members come out one at a time because we want to ensure that people are safe, because we do have people with ambulatory mobility issues, and then they're brought on the bus, and then the next bus comes up. So the whole pickup, drop-off, I mean, it can take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes
Okay,
to unload or load a bus.
okay. And then my last question was if you were anticipating any sort of outdoor space for your members?
Not at this time.
Okay,
Ideally, that is something that we would look at and like because there's a huge benefit to that. And also we have some smokers, so they do like to go and smoke. So, but that isn't part of the initial planning. That would be something that, if, should it go further into it that we would require it or members request it, that would be something that possibly we would look into.
okay.
I'll probably have to go through I should add that, so, yeah.
All right, I think.
I'm learning.
I think that's all our questions. So we'll move on to a motion. Is that sound okay? Oh, sorry. Staff, can you present the standards?
Okay, so overall, with the standards for special use, the goal is to make sure that we're not negatively impacting the surrounding area by approving the use. So in general, this provides a great service to residents of Tinley and the nearby area. It's a needed service as our population is aging. So yeah, it'll be a benefit to the community. Then I have one motion. We did also print the staff reports for you, so those orange tabs on your packet. Whoever wants to make the motion, you can either read off the screen or off the printed copy.
Before making the motion, was there anybody else in the public that wanted to speak on the topic or the matter? All right, seeing none, we can move on to the motion.
Yeah, we need to do a vote to close.
Okay, can I get a motion to close the public hearing? All right, I heard a first by Commissioner Sepisi and a second by Commissioner Hamilton. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All right, so we will move on to the motion before us today.
Probably best.
I'd like to make a motion to recommend that the village board grant a special use for a substantial deviation from the Park Center Plaza PUD to the petitioner Laura Altenbaumer of Active Day in IN Incorporated to allow for the establishment of an adult daycare facility at 16050 Harlem Avenue in the B3 PD, General Business and Commercial, Park Center Plaza PUD zoning district, subject to the conditions that all company vehicles will be parked behind the building.
All right. Okay, thank you. I heard a first by Commissioner Hamilton and a second by Commissioner Sepisi. Oh, sorry. Commissioner Gaskell. Lori, can you please call the roll?
Commissioner Gaskell? Commissioner Hamilton? Commissioner Manny? Commissioner Merrick? Commissioner Sepisi? Acting Chair Martinez?
Yes. That motion carries. We'll move on to the other motion. Okay. That was, all right, I think that was the only motion in this one. So this case will move on to the village board meeting, which is November 4th. Just wanted to say thank you for bringing your business here in Tinley Park. All right, we'll move on to item number 2, which is a public hearing for a garage variation at 16801 Sawyer Avenue, which is consideration to grant Dennis Mahoney a variation from section 3I to B of the zoning ordinance to allow for a detached garage exceeding the maximum accessory structure floor area and maximum accessory structure width at 16801 Sawyer Avenue in the R2 Single Family Residential District. May I have a motion to open the public hearing? All right, first by Commissioner Gaskell. All right, second by Commissioner Manny. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All right, that motion is carried. Before we proceed, I would like to note that I have received the certification of the public hearing notice as being published in the local newspaper as required by state law. Anyone wishing to speak on this matter will be sworn in, but after staff's presentation. Staff, can you please proceed with your presentation?
Okay, thank you. The subject property is located southeasterly of 167th and Harlem. The house is on the east side of Sayre. It is nearly an 18,000 square foot lot that is approximately 66 feet wide, 271 feet deep. The petition does include a lot coverage data sheet and plat of survey provided. So again, that's just footprint data is for one floor. Zoning and history. This property is part of the Elmore's Oak Park Avenue subdivision that was annexed in 1929. It is R2 zoning as well as the surrounding areas. As far as the nearby uses surrounding to the southeast and west are single-family detached homes, and to the north is a unique situation where there is vacant land. So this is not a platted parcel. But simply it is approximate 70-foot wide piece of open land that it may have presumably been for right-of-way, and it aligns with 168th Street to the west. So here you can see some of the photos of the neighborhood, as well as context of as part of the packet the petitioner provided. So a few of these are on Sayre and New England Avenues. Some exhibited situations of exterior vinyl siding, garages that would have a second floor or level windows, and the low slope type of roofing. So this is, again, neighborhood context provided by petitioner. And then here is for the house itself. So in the middle is the aerial of, to the left would be Sayre Avenue, and the blue dot that you would see would be the house and the associated structures to the rear of that. So the house itself is approximately 1,300 square foot, gabled single-story frame home. It does not have a basement. It has limited attic storage, which I'll get into in a few moments. The garage is an existing detached garage, so it's like a standard two-car. Attached to that is a screen-in porch. So those two elements together is a little under 700 square feet. Now, there is an addition that is under construction behind that to the rear. So that is a two-level addition that is about 445 square feet per level. So you would double that for the total square footage. There are two sheds that are in the back of the property, a pool, a wood deck for the pool, a couple of patios, and there is some equipment stored outside, notably a boat. Here are some photos that the petitioner provided showing some views on their property. So on the left is, the petitioner stated, that's the looking north, so the house would be on the left, and the front of that existing garage is a sliver to the right of that field of view. And then the second picture is the backyard looking northwest, so you can see the open space, and the addition in question is what you can see that's under construction. And then a view looking south, east, and then here is another view, so you can see the overall length of that addition there. So as far as code requirements go, we've listed a number of them in the staff report, so I'll just go over them one by one. So detached garages, in this case, for the village, the maximum is 720 square feet and a maximum width of 34 feet for homes that are in the R1 to R5. The max height they can be is 18 feet to the peak, architecturally compatible, pitch roof to the main roof of the house. They're not to be used as living space or business-related activity or serviced by water, sanitary sewer, or natural gas. Now, we do have a provision in the code where second detached garages could be allowed, but you would need 90 feet minimum of lot width. So the property has some constraints and obviously is not even meeting that code requirement. As far as Section 5 of our code, we have what's called minimum usable floor area per dwelling for homes. We might call that house size. So that is a minimum square footage number for when homes come in for new construction. So that number has a number of exclusions, notably garages and accessory structures. So for the R2, that would be 2,300 square feet. So as far as what is here on the site, the existing detached garage accessory structure, so that original garage, the screened-in porch, and the addition under construction, exceeds that max floor area and width. So I bolded those. That's proposed as 1,558 square feet and 44 feet 2 inches wide. So as far as the request here for this evening is variations. So it's for those two components for floor area and width. And then notably, upon learning of the code violation, village staff informed the petitioner that in these cases, the structure would either need to be removed or to get approval through the variation process. And then following that, a submittal and approval for building permit. And then as far as a visual of the plat of survey, you can see here in red is where that addition is located. So this is an updated plat of survey showing the current existing conditions with that addition. That addition is about 100 feet back from the front property line, which is to your left, and about 38, that might be, I'm sorry, it's 138 feet from the east rear lot line and about 10 feet from the north, which is side lot line. The location does favor the north part of the property, and notably is most proximate to that adjacent vacant land, which is not a parcel. And then as far as the details on the addition, it's about 20 by 22 feet, so it is 2 levels, has interior stairs, ground floor has an overhead and a pedestrian door, and the upper floor has windows, and the proposal is to seek storage for vehicles, boat, motorcycle on the ground floor, and general home storage on the upper floor. And then as far as the exterior materials, wood frame, the building is constructed of wood frame, and hardy board or vinyl lap siding would be proposed to match the existing original garage. So you saw a moment ago the floor plan. So up here on screen is the elevations that you can see kind of moving around the addition. And you can see that the addition looks like it's 2 stories. It is showing a nearly it is showing actually exactly 18 feet as a flat roof. What is constructed on the site is a roof with a gabled peak. So again, these drawings are for what is being proposed. They propose to remove the gables and change it to meet the maximum code requirement of 18 feet high. The principal structure has a medium pitch side gable and small front gable, and the existing original garage has a 6 to 12 pitch, which is like a shallow to moderate. Staff finds that this roof appears to be compatible architecturally from the street as it is an addition that's on a different height plane, and it is set back to the rear of the house. Additionally, windows and the siding helps with the architectural compatibility. So as far as looking into alternative options and exploring hardship, the petitioner states the physical hardship is due to lack of storage space. The addition will provide an indoor storage solution for belongings otherwise left outdoors. The house does not have what are typically common amenities of having a basement or a crawl space or a closet. The house does have closets, but it is a 1,300 square foot house, so it has some limitations in that respect. It does have an attic, but the petitioner has stated that that attic usage is limited due to subpar structure that would limit it to maintaining substantial weight for home storage. It is an older home. So as far as the lot, it is too narrow for a second detached garage. An additional shed is not allowed. Even so, that would cap out at 200 square feet max for a shed. And the building, having a thought of a building addition to the house is challenging due to the shape and location. It has an existing non-conforming side setback of a little under 5 feet. And if you do want to keep that garage with its current construction materials, you'd need to maintain that 10-foot minimum. Otherwise, if you get closer, you have to change the materials to meet building code. And then lastly here, just noting, staff has identified in the report that the house size and lot width are non-conforming in the R2. That usable floor area of a dwelling is undersized, 1,302 square feet versus code for new construction, 2,300. The subject home, to put that in perspective, would be roughly nearly half the size than a new home to code. And it excludes that count of garage and basement square footage, which are common amenities. And the lot width, as I noted, is just under 66 feet versus 90 feet for new interior lots, or 115 for a corner. That concludes staff presentation. Petitioners here and able to come to the podium, and I have standards up on screen.
Thank you. Petitioner, can you please approach? Maybe it's just me.
Hello, 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 hello.
Sounded good. All right. Did you sign in for us?
I did, yes.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand?
Yes.
All right. Do you swear or affirm that the evidence that you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Perfect. Do you have anything to add to staff's presentation?
Not at this time, no. I think the information is, I think most of it's all in there, so I don't think there's anything at this time, no.
Okay. I'm going to start off with Commissioner Merrick this time.
Yeah, so I guess one thing I'm interested in, though I won't make this suggestion, I'm just wondering how difficult it would be to put in a basement for something like this, or if it's even possible. Just out of curiosity, I'm not asking you, that would be potentially for staff or others. And I just want to note for the record that this is a house that historically is smaller than what it's zoned, which we've got some substantial parts in the village that are that way. So I don't really have any issues or additional questions for you.
Yeah, you know, since the lot is narrow, you know, I don't have any issues with what you have discussed so far. I mean, you're just trying to deal with what you got. So, I'm sorry? Sure. I just mentioned that, you know, I have no issues with what he started to construct, you know, because it's a narrow lot. So he's just using what he has so he could, you know, make it more comfortable for your belongings.
I have no questions.
I don't have any either.
Are these pictures on page 3? Is that, it's the second one on the top row, the property we're talking about? Is that what's already built? Yeah. So he's already built that? No permit? And way out of code. Way out of code. Correct? And you thought this was okay, right, sir? You thought this was okay? To do it this way?
At the time, it was overlooked and a mistake on my end.
I think it needs to be corrected myself, but that's all I got to say.
I guess I'm kind of struggling with this one. I'm struggling to see the hardship on it. Do you mind explaining, you know, your hardship that you're trying to justify this with?
Just as stated in the pages there, as far as some of the vehicles and putting in the garage, and then the above would be used for a general storage use. In the home right now, there's limited closet space inside there for just, you know, very small closets in there. We've had for years since we've been in the house. Attic is a very similar situation. In the attic, the way the roof, there's access to get up there. The way the roof pitches, it cuts off a large portion, excuse me, of the attic. And then the structure of the attic, the joists, it's not like a 2 by 10 or 2 by 6. So it's a lesser width of lumber in the attic. So putting anything above there, I really don't want to put anything above there. It's just to be a substantial weight bearing on the hit ceiling. So, you know, that kind of ixnays the storage above in the attic as well too. So.
Okay. I just wondered if you ever considered doing an addition to the house. I also have a Cape Cod, so I kind of understand it may be a little bit difficult, but I wanted to see what your thoughts were about how,
Sure.
you know, why you didn't move forward with a building addition.
Sure. So the back of the house there's a concrete slab there that can't be built. The whole thing would have to be tore off the back, and I don't think it's accessible the way the garage sits right now to go back. To go upward, the house sits on it's a cinder block, basically. So the support structure to go vertical with the cinder block foundation versus, you know, even putting a basement in there or going vertical would not support a structure going vertical either, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And then, do you mind, you know, letting us know maybe your future plans for those other existing sheds? Would you be removing them anytime soon since you're proposing this structure?
So the one is a greenhouse in the back right there. And the other one is a shed in the back there, holding some, snow blowers, your gas grill, propane tanks, things of that nature, lawn equipment.
And staff, is there a permit for that shed? Or is that necessary to get such a permit? Okay. Do you, maybe plan to put those things inside of the structure that you're building?
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Okay. Staff, any opinions on maybe proposing a condition for something like that?
It would be the one that sits on a diagonal there. Correct, correct.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, usually with a hardship, it's more of a land-related hardship. And I know you have, smaller width, and storage is kind of those ones that's not necessarily up to that standard, but it would probably make me feel better if you removed that other non-conforming shed. Any other commissioners have feelings on that?
I don't feel like removing the little bit of shed there makes a substantial difference. It's a very large lot. And the lot north of them is empty, so it's not like there's a problem with the neighbor. I did have a question, though, as far as the final design. It looks like it's got to be a flat roof.
Correct. That gable style, as you see in a picture, the gable style would be,
Those would
so
be
it's a
taken
gable
down.
just on the front and back. Right now, it's just a frame. The roof is not constructed, so that gable would come down.
That would be
And then it would
changed.
go to the flat roof and the detailed drawing picture to not
Okay.
exceed the height restriction.
Thank you.
Did you build the greenhouse and the shed yourself?
Correct.
And you did those without a permit also?
Correct.
Okay.
Anybody else?
So, the thing that jumped out to me right away was how tall the garage was, but we're talking about training that in. And if I understand correctly, we only need one hardship, not multiple hardships to move forward. But the thing that makes me worry is about whether or not this will change the essential character of the locality. I'm reminded of a couple other cases that we had where allowing somebody to go in and make a substantial change like this likely should, or do we going to say like, oh, because there's an open lot to the north, no one else can do it? Or will other people come in front of us and say, rightly, as we've done with fences and other things, you let these people do this, and now I'm going to do it, and then the nature of the neighborhood itself gets compromised in terms of its look and its aesthetic. So that's one concern that I have about granting this one, or recommending granting it, right? Because we're recommending.
Just kind of echoing that, I did just kind of look around, and it didn't seem like too many properties had, you know, such a structure. And I know that you've provided one. How far away is that one?
There's several. There's two on New England. There's several in the Parkside area as well, in the old area there. There's definitely more than just those pictures with the height, width, and length. Windows, second floor, you know, very similar style. And that whole older part of that Elmore's Village there. Like I said, on the west side and the east side of Oak Park Avenue, and the older homes over there.
Okay. Do we have any other questions?
Those buildings that were identified in the drawings here and stuff, in the Parkside and all that stuff, Lori or Mike, do we know if they were built with permits?
It's a mix.
All right.
Okay, so, you know, just looking at the lot and where he started to build that second storage, I mean, it appears to be lined up with the garage that's there now. So if I'm standing at the sidewalk facing this house, I would just want to see that second story structure. So I don't think it would change the character, even if the neighbors want to do the same thing. To me, it looks good, you know. And again, you know, he's trying to make this, you know, his lot, his home, you know, more homier, you know, workable, you know, what we all want. So, you know, I don't really see this being detrimental to the neighborhood.
And then just last question, the screen porch that's on the elevations, I guess what's the necessity for that by this structure? Is that
So
already existing as well?
It was, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, there's an old screen porch in there.
Okay.
Single pane windows in there, and
Okay, so that's also a part of this request, correct?
that's on there already.
Okay. I think that's all the questions that we have Looking at the audience, there's no public comment. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask for a motion to close the public hearing. All right, motion by Commissioner Sepisi, second by Commissioner Gaskell. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All right, staff, can you please present the standards? And you can take a seat, too.
Okay, the first standard is the property in question cannot yield a reasonable return if permitted to be used only under the conditions allowed by the regulations in the district in which it is located. Staff has drafted this and the other standards in the positive, so I will read through. The property cannot yield a reasonable return if permitted to be used only under the conditions allowed as the property lacks adequate storage space on the property. The property has undersized and non-conforming usable floor area of the dwelling and a narrow lot width. The house does not have typically available storage amenities of adequate closet space, a basement, or accessibly usable attic space structurally equipped to bear substantial weight of home storage. The addition will provide an indoor storage solution for belongings that otherwise may be left outdoors. Number 2, the plight of the owner is due to unique circumstances. The lack of storage space on the property is a physical hardship on the property of unique circumstance due to undersized, non-conforming usable floor area of the dwelling and narrow lot width. Then we go on to mention the lack of available storage amenities, followed by a building addition to the house would otherwise pose challenges due to the house's existing shape and location with a non-conforming side yard setback and proximity to existing garage and screened-in porch. And then number 3, the variation, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the locality. The addition will not alter the essential character of the locality. The addition's location favors the north part of the property, which is most proximate to the adjacent vacant land that is not a platted parcel, which is preferable over being adjacent to the buildable/built platted parcel/lot. The 44-2 width runs to the back, utilizing the depth of the property parallel to Sayre Avenue, which reduces the visual sightline impact from Sayre Avenue. Examples of neighborhood context provided by the petitioner appear to show a similar character of homes with lap siding, taller garages with windows, and a nearby example of a low slope roof. And then the 4th standard does not require findings, but I have that up on screen. And I have motion.
All right, I'm looking for a motion regarding the variations.
I make a motion to recommend that the village board grant the petitioner Dennis Mahoney variations from section 3.I.2.B of the Tinley Park zoning ordinances to increase the maximum floor area of a detached garage accessory structure to 1,550 square feet, and to increase the maximum width of a detached garage accessory structure to 42 feet 2 inches at 16801 Sayre Avenue in the R2 single-family residential district in accordance with the plan submitted, and adopt the findings of facts as proposed in the October 16, 2025 staff report.
All right, I heard Commissioner Manny make a motion. Anybody would like to second? All right, I heard a second by Commissioner Hamilton. Lori, can you please call the roll?
Commissioner Gaskell. Commissioner Hamilton. Commissioner Manny. Commissioner Merrick.
Us having a zoning rule that all the houses inside of a zone are non-conforming, which is true for this area, right, for the village. Can I abstain? Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'm a both sides, so I'm going to abstain.
Okay, Commissioner Sepisi? No? Acting Chair Martinez?
We're going to say no.
Okay. That is 3 yeses, 2 yeses, 3 noes, and 1 abstain.
Okay. So I believe you can either, revise your site plan to conform or still move forward to village board, regardless of our vote tonight. So I believe that would also go to November 4th, correct?
Yes, so when a motion goes before a village board without unanimous approval, they typically do a initial reading where the item's introduced and discussed, and then they do a vote, a formal vote to approve or deny at the following meeting. So that would be the path forward.
Okay, thank you, Michael.
So I would suggest, I think personally it would be helpful if you had some of your neighbors come out to tell us what they think about adding that in terms of the character of the neighborhood. We saw a couple other places that have similar characteristics, but it's hard, and I drove by there, but it's hard to know, it didn't appear to be pervasive in that space, and that's the big piece for me, is just trying to make sure that we have neighborhoods where there's not things that stand out as being completely different than other ones around them. So I think it would be really helpful personally for me, though I won't be there, right? If you brought some folks in to talk about the character of your home and the work and what they think about its impact on the neighborhood.
And then just to add to that, then possibly maybe a nice photo of showing the front, because I don't think there's a sort of, I think it fits within the character, looks nice. It's not like we were building something that's, 3 stories tall and, I don't know, ugly or, not placed behind the existing garage. That will make it kind of like, hey, it looks, I like it.
Thank you, commissioners. So now we will move on to public comment. Seeing nobody in the audience, I think we're good to proceed to the good of the order, unless you have something to say. Okay. Staff, anything for the good of the order?
We don't have anything prepared. If you all have any questions, we're happy to provide updates on specific projects.
Anybody got questions on projects? You do?
80th Avenue.
Public Works. Public
Very
Works.
good. I keep getting calls from people wondering when that's going to be done because I never see anybody working there. I know they took the gravel and dirt mound down. That was progress. And they poured some concrete on the one corner. But it just seems to be, it's going to snow. So if you guys can find any kind of answers, it will make things good for me.
We'll reach out to Public Works tomorrow. The only time I see them working out there is Saturday and Sunday. Nothing during the day. So it's like, myself, that's the most traveled road for me because I live right down the street from there. So, yeah, I feel the pain. I do. So,
Call my wife and tell her.
couple of updates, if I could. We have 7 Brew that has been under construction right now. We're looking to estimate that to be open February, maybe March. We are progressing along with D.R. Horton, and we're trying to get Magnuson back up and going. They are getting some investors in that particular project, so I think that we'll get back going with that. Odyssey, we have, they're still continuing on with their townhomes. They are just, keep building more and more. Same thing with Crana. So we're seeing a lot of good residential development that's still going on, and they can't keep them on the shelves, as they would say. So, and they're keeping their price points right where they're at. So I think that's good for the community out there. So in terms of other commercial projects, the hotel is still going forth. They're progressing to, getting all the MEPs inside the building over there. That's really just about it. Just 7 Brew is, all the teenagers are looking for that to get going. So, and I have one at home that gives me a request once a week, how we doing? I send her pictures, and she tells me, and that's my daughter, it's not moving quick enough. So I'll get that going for her. So if there's any other questions. Yes. What I wanted, yeah, let me clarify that, yeah.
Just,
Pardon me? That's a drive-through only, yes. Yes, that's, the planners did a great job figuring out how to go ahead and have enough stacking out there. The other thing too is the Jack in the Box. We've had some issues out there with the particular, I think it's Blueberry Hill Cafe out there with the way the stacking. Myself and Walt Smart have worked with the regional directors of Jack in the Box to come up with a different idea. They have said that basically they have got to increase their movement of their sales. He says right now we have staff that's still learning, so he thinks that once the new thing, because Jack Box has been gone for what, 30-something years? I remember when they were, when I was a kid, they were out there. Thinks once that gets over with, there'll be less cars pulling up, but they also got to get better inside their own store, producing the food, getting it out. But we're working on we got a, hopefully not a permanent, but a temporary idea how to go and alleviate that. There is a cross-access and parking agreement for that whole mall over there between what used to be the old Arby's, that whole strip mall, and the Dunkin' Donuts that's there. So they're aware of that, but it's just people were getting entrapped in their cars and they couldn't pull out coming from Blueberry Cafe because the drive-through traffic, Jack in the Box was stopping there. So we got an idea. We just approved it today, sent it forward. They're going to implement it. That should be good.
Two or three handicap spots right in front of the store.
Yes. Correct. You know, we're,
The parking lot and walk drive up.
yes.
In defense, I've been in there in the drive-up, and I've seen employees outside when people come out to go into those cars. They've been parting the waters, if you will, so that these folks can get in and out. So I think they're aware of that. I think they're working on that.
Well-
But that's just one problem, obviously.
Yes, yes. That was brought to our attention by the owner of Blueberry Hill Cafe. So myself and Walt met with the regional manager and the manager of their store. So that was a result of us stepping in and telling them, you got to get staff out there and tell them that they have to shift the cars over to get people out. So as otherwise, that was not happening. First couple of weeks they were open. So it was a nightmare.
all right, 2 questions for you. The Brixmore Bank, is that still going forward?
If they're, oh, yeah,
Sorry.
so many bees in the village on that. So yes, that is. They are waiting on MWRD approval. All the approvals are complete. Engineering is just waiting for the final approval from MWRD. We did get all of the other permits. Their performance bond is in place, then they are anxious to get going. Once we get that approval, we can immediately issue that permit. Yes.
Awesome. And then I did pass by, our favorite gas and wash there with the wall. Honestly, I don't think it looks that bad, but I just wondered if the full landscaping has been installed.
The full landscaping has been installed, and Mr. Whalen will be there tomorrow morning to take a look at it. And once we get verification, all the as-bills are done, then we can issue their full C of O. Yes, but I was out there, looked at the actual product that was out there. I agree with you, it looks a little bit better than I thought it was going to, but it's better than what was out there, and but Mike is gonna look at the landscape plan and go from there.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
we also have the sports dome is going to be starting. We have the concrete poured for that, and that's on 191st. He's still awaiting with engineering from ComEd, not our department, to get service out there. When it was the old Greystone, it turned out that my understanding and everybody's understanding is their ComEd bill wasn't paid. So we found out that it was $160,000 in outstanding payments for that site, and then realized that I just closed in June, so it's not me. So they waived that, but they held up the engineering to get the power out there, which is going to require a substantial increase in transformers and so forth. So they have a temporary service out there, but the actual full engineering will probably be happening, it's happening right now, but I don't think it'll be installed till maybe November.
So then my 2 cents on the gas and wash. I was over there last weekend, looking at it, touching it, and it's very thin product that was attached. So once, I want to see how it looks come next spring, when it starts to spall and look like crap. And all the vertical lines, just like what I said, it's going to be a different color. We're going to have all these vertical lines that are still there, you know, so it's on the road for it.
I'd like
You
to
know.
see how it's going to look after a full 365 days.
Well,
and
yeah, I
see,
mean,
you know.
that's the thing, you know, the thing's ugly, so that's all I got to say.
Thank you. All right, so we will now move on to adjourn the meeting. Can I have a motion to adjourn? All right, motion by Commissioner Gaskell, second by Commissioner Sepisi. All those in favor of closing the October 16th, 2025 Plan Commission meeting, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the motion is carried. The meeting is adjourned at 8:10.